Super Mario Maker 2! Have you ever thought you could make a better Mario game than Nintendo? Well, you can't. They're the masters at it. However, this is the game that will give you the chance to try and take the crown from them. This is a sequel to Super Mario Maker for the Wii U, and I own that. Yes, I'm one of the 12 people who owned a Wii U. I have about 300 reviews proving that. It's too bad that it's mostly just garbageware games, but that's just all the Wii U had really to offer consistently. I liked the original Super Mario Maker. I never really made too many levels. My kids did more of that. I mostly played it for the different kinds of levels that others made. They were basically broken down into troll, autoplay, and actual attempts at making good levels, which was often not great. There were some gems, but it was something that was not very common. The main problem with the levels is that they were made by people who try to make them too complex, and they think that's what's going to make it fun. It didn't. It made it tedious. Now sure, there are an entire genre of Mario games that are just down to making crazy, challenging levels. And for the people who like those levels, I have all the respect for them. This game uses tags in their levels, so it's easier to weed out the challenging level designs. In fact, I would say from just the few days this has been out, I've already seen a major improvement on game design. And unlike the previous games, this one really feels like it wants you to make the best levels. And they don't just leave you to your devices and hope for the best. They will train you and show you the best way to make you a better designer. And they do that in a very in-depth training module. This whole thing is taught by a woman and a bird. From what I saw, they never really explained why this bird is training you how to make levels. Why not use a Mario character? Why not Birdo? Well, there's a compromise. Or we do not speak of the Mario 2 that doesn't really exist. They give you all the tools that help you make levels. It's easy enough to do. I tried the touchscreen, and with my big fingers, I never really could get it to work too well. I tried with all the styluses I had, but they didn't work with my Switch screen. So like usual, I stuck to the TV mode, and it worked perfectly with the controller scheme. It was easy to switch to different kinds of tools and items. I never had an issue on finding what I wanted and understanding how anything worked. There's just too many new things to go into a real in-depth what I liked best. I think a lot of the background stuff, like the new themes, were my favorite. Also, I love the fact that pretty much everything was unlocked from the beginning. That was one of my biggest complaints about the previous game. They put a progression or time lock on the original game's tools. I get what they were trying to do. They thought if you had access to everything right away, you might get overwhelmed, and they want you to master things one thing at a time. But it made it too limiting, and I'm glad it's gone in this one. Now, this game isn't just about making levels for others to play, but it's also about playing the other people's levels. And you do that by going online and finding all kinds of player-made levels. They did have a good search function. And I also liked how they would not only show you what was popular, but show you some of the new ones as well. When you play the levels, you can leave comments. Or you can rate it, I like it, or boo. I really wish they had a more nuanced rating system, as I often would have preferred to give it like a middle grade. These ratings were in the multiplayer part of this, so why not normal levels? Sure, there was the occasional troll levels, but I found those were a little less common. So since I want to leave the worst part out of this game for last, I'm going to skip talking about the multiplayer for a minute and go into the story in this, which, while basic, was way more entertaining than it needed to be. You're tasked with rebuilding Princess Peach's castle after an unfortunate accident destroys it. They have you doing jobs, which will pay out unique coins, since oddly you can't use any of the coins that you may have gotten in other parts of this game. There's over 100 levels that Nintendo has created to show you how you can use the tools in Mario Maker to make some devious, yet importantly fun levels to play. So let's just go ahead and get to the worst thing about this whole package. And I put an asterisk on that statement, as it could be fixed in a patch. That's the multiplayer in this. They let you play against 3 other players in the random multiplayer levels. In theory, that could be pretty good. However, when you actually play with 3 other players, the frame rate drops to unplayable levels. It had to be like 3 or 4 frames a second. Here, take a look. When there was only like 1 or 2 other players, mostly because people dropped out, it got way better. I had this issue in the multiplayer battles more than the cooperative play. However, it was still an issue in that too, it was just not as bad. They might fix this in the future, but for now, it was just a major strike against this title. Super Mario Maker 2! Almost everything in this title is absolutely outstanding. With the exception of the horrible online multiplayer, this could be the perfect game. However, that one does blemish this title a lot, especially since the idea of playing against other people in multiplayer levels could be a lot of fun, and I hope they fix this quickly. Even with that as an issue, I think it's still worth a buy. There's a lot in here to enjoy. If you like the idea of making your own levels, there's a ton for you to do in this. Even if you don't, there's a lot of fun in the story mode and the user-made levels, so that makes it an easy recommendation.